Hey everybody, welcome back. This wedding trend has got to stop. Am I the a-hole for leaving my own wedding because my husband embarrassed me? You may be seated. I, female 27, and my husband, male 29, have been together for 3 years. In those 3 years, I've never known him to be selfish. Occasionally immature, yes, but even that was rare. These problems arose when the stupid cake smashing videos got popular and my husband thought they were hilarious. Why do you think they are funny? I am an expert on what is not funny, okay? And I do not find that funny. I never thought they were funny, and he knows that. Yet, he was always showing me the videos of these poor wives getting the happiest day of their life ruined by their a-hole partner for some cheap laughs. He also knows I have a history with cake smashing. How does one have a history with cake smashing?
What am I doing? Come on, Angelo.
My family does the cake smashing thing.
We're talking about sex, right?
I remember it was my 17th birthday and I pleaded with my mom not to do it. She promised and I trusted her. I had my hair and makeup done, all nice, and right as I blew out the candles, my mom pushed my head into the cake and one of the decorations on the cake ended up slicing my forehead. This is why it's not funny. Not only is your hair and makeup ruined, which is expensive on a wedding day, but also there's things in the cake, like at the top of the cake, there's decorations that aren't edible and they can hurt you if you smash somebody's face into it. A piece is another story, but the entire cake, it could be dangerous. It could be dangerous. I don't like it. On today's episode of What Grinds Charlotte's Gears, not enough to go to the hospital, but enough for some substantial bleeding. My birthday was ruined and so was the cake, clearly. And after, I wouldn't come out of my room. My mom still calls me a brat for that. Oh, okay, well, I know you are, but what am I? I told him if he ever did something like that to me, I would leave him. I think that's a very clear boundary that you're expressing, and a fair boundary. It is very easy to not shove somebody's face in a cake.
Feels so good.
He started laughing, but I was being for real, though he really was not taking me seriously. He was obviously showing you all those videos. He's like, oh, it's so funny, it's so hard. Why is it funny? If you find it funny, explain to me why you think it's funny. I would love to know. I'm open to the discussion, but for me, it's a no. Skip to a few days ago when my wedding happened. Everything was perfect. I was happy. He was happy. I was excited for our new lives as newlyweds. I felt like a princess in my poofy white dress and done up hair with perfect makeup.
Okay, I see where this is going.
All very expensive things I would like to mention. Yes, they are. Wedding makeup, wedding hair, wedding dresses, that is thousands of dollars. We get to the cake cutting part, and as I turn to him, he scoops up a huge chunk of our wedding cake and smashes it all over my face. Even after you told him not to? Honey. Divorce! Divorce him! Because it's not about even the cake smashing at this point. It's also about the not respecting your boundaries. Everything just seemed to go in slow motion for a few minutes. He's laughing at me. He said, "You should see your face," and continues to laugh. I'm sorry, am I supposed to have a different face when cake is smashed inside of it? I'm sorry, what kind of face are you supposed to have with cake all over it? Other people in the crowd, mostly my family, are also laughing at me. Okay, so as someone who does funny things sometimes, I make funny jokes sometimes, not always, but sometimes. When the person that you are making the joke about isn't laughing, that is a sign to not laugh. That is a sign to maybe check to see if they're okay. If somebody trips or something, if somebody hurts themselves, I think our first reaction is to maybe giggle a bit, and then you gotta ask them if they're okay. You don't just laugh, okay? You just don't. Then I start walking away. He realizes that I'm leaving and tries to catch up with me and says I'm being extra. No, he is. You told him not to do that and he did it, and why is he surprised? I push him away and order an Uber. As I got outside, most of the crowd is following me, telling me to come back. I get in the Uber and drive away, as you should. I would be fuming. I drove to our apartment and packed most of my things and went to stay at a hotel. I currently, though, am staying at a friend's house. My family and his family have been blowing up my phone for days, saying I'm being childish and my husband is a good man and it was just a joke. It wasn't just a joke. If you're telling him not to do something and to not embarrass you on your wedding day and he does it anyway, what does that prove? How does anybody gain anything from that? What does he get out of that? Is that something that he gets out of it? Seeing you embarrassed? Because that is not a healthy marriage, honey. That's not a healthy relationship. My husband has been calling me off the hook, telling me to please come home, that he wants to talk, that he's sorry and didn't think I'd get emotional.
The nerve.
I'm sorry, are we not supposed to get emotional when people embarrass us? That's an appropriate quiet response, honestly. This was supposed to be the happiest day of our lives, and he embarrassed me in front of everyone for some prank that he knew I hated. Not only that, he ruined a $500 cake. He ruined my makeup and my hair and the top of my dress. The cake got all over. Though I still do love him, and I'm wondering if I really was hard on him. That seems to be everyone else's opinion. So am I the a-hole? I'm sorry, why are we concerned about his feelings when he wasn't concerned about yours? I'm just asking. Update. I decided to speak to him bright and early this morning. I'm leaving him. Yes, bitch! It's never a happy thing to see a couple break up. It's just not. But this, for me, I feel like there's something underlying here. You should never be happy about embarrassing your partner, and you should always apologize for embarrassing them, especially when they're upset. The fact that he like gaslighted you and made it your fault and said that it was like your reaction and you're being emotional, like, no, he embarrassed you. He needs to apologize. And that should have been his immediate response to seeing you upset. I decided to call him and get his reasoning for why he did what he did. He told me that he just thought it was a funny prank and that if it was at the wedding on a happy day that he could change my mind. Okay, but it wasn't like discussed again. He just went ahead and did it. Plus, since it was a tradition in my family that I wasn't following, he thought that he could get points with my family. Then told me he's sorry that I took it as a disrespect. No, he's not sorry. No, okay, this is not how you apologize. You don't say, I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry you took it that way. You say, I am sorry for disrespecting you. I told him he shouldn't be saying that he's sorry that I took it that way. This is what I'm saying. He should be apologizing for hurting me. Where's the I'm sorry? I told him he hasn't apologized with accountability once. All his apologies have been backhanded. I also reminded him I didn't have a good relationship with most of my family, nor my mother, who he forced me to invite. I told him he knew I was already the black sheep of my family, and the verbal abuse and public humiliation I received by my mother for years really messed with me, and he knew that. He then says this, why should I have to apologize because you can't take a joke? Hell no. You get a divorce. You get a divorce. Oh my God. I blew up and I told him, are you serious? If it was me who hurt you to this degree, the first thing I'd do is apologize. Why you can't even force yourself to be decent for a few seconds and just apologize to me. I also told him that he was trying to get in good with a family who abused me by publicly humiliating me. And that is something that is unforgivable. Here, sis. Dang. Marriage means you stick by me, yet you showed how you obviously do not. It is not about you ruining my dress or my hair or even the cake. It's about how you knew how I felt about this trauma. I had connected and you didn't care. He then tried doubling down and saying it wasn't his fault for not apologizing because my family was telling him how dramatic I was and how I was hurting them by leaving the wedding for a joke. Okay, but this is also the family that enjoyed publicly humiliating her. You shouldn't take them at their word. Like, that's not the people that you should be listening to. You should be listening to your wife. He said he loves me and he doesn't want to break up over this nonsense and that I should just come home. I told him I wasn't coming home and that it wasn't even about the cake anymore. It is because I cannot be with a man who won't apologize when he's wrong and who gaslights their significant other into receiving the blame. It's not about the cake, babes. It's about the public humiliation and it's about not apologizing and not respecting your wishes. He started cursing me out at this point. Hell no, divorce, get the hell out of here. But after about a minute of hearing him scream at me, I hung up. You're literally telling him what you want him to do and he's still doubling down and not apologizing.
What a douche.
I guess he started telling my family because within half an hour, my phone was blowing up again. The worst ones had to be from my mother and his sister. My mother was telling me I'm going to end up alone because I can't take jokes and I'll never be able to keep a man with my attitude. Yeah, but who wants to keep that man? I'm sorry. I'd rather be alone than have that man. I'm sorry. Even saying that my clock is running out fast. Oh God, that one. Okay. When it did, no one will want me and I will be alone. Well, still better than being with a husband who humiliates you and doesn't apologize. His sister was telling me that I am a disgusting B-word for hurting his brother and wasting his time. Okay, again, like, where is the empathy for the bride that got humiliated on her wedding day? The worst one had to be, that she wishes he would have broken up with me 2 years ago when he first wanted to. Well, she got her wish. So I know now that he wanted to break up with me. Okay, here's the nitty gritty. I honestly think that he doesn't respect her at all. If he was already contemplating breaking up with her, he doesn't care about her feelings. That ship has sailed. What I also know is that he was cheating on me for 6 months with his ex, who wanted him back, and then she dropped him because he stayed with me.
Oh, that one's a keeper.
The thing is, I had a good relationship with his sister, and she knew he was cheating on me. I guess she put everything out on the table since I was leaving anyway. I blocked most most of my family and I blocked all of his family. I also blocked him and I'm getting the annulment. My friend said I could stay with her for a few months until I get back on my feet. I told her I really appreciate it. So yeah, that's the end. I'm crying while typing this. I wasted 3 years on a man who never really cared about me. I've lost what little relationship I had with my family, and now I only have the few friends I have been blessed with. I'm going to have to pick up the rest of my stuff. I also told him before I blocked him, if he broke anything of mine, I would bring it to court. It sounds to me like this bride was so accustomed to being humiliated and treated badly that she didn't see a lot of red flags in the beginning. And that stems from her family who treated her that way. I think that when you grow up with a lot of like abuse, you tolerate a lot more, especially when it comes to your partner. And I know it's sad that she doesn't talk to her family anymore and that her marriage is over, but like at the end of the day, it just sort of seems like it was like a trauma bond. Like I just feel like that is the old her, and it took this horrible thing for her to realize that it was an unhealthy relationship. I haven't gotten my stuff from my ex yet. I just haven't had the energy because I'm still extremely upset. From videos online to comments I've received on my original post and also comments I looked at on my repost of my post, it made me think that there was probably a lot of red flags and I was just used to being abused, so the bare minimum was enough for me. After speaking about it with my friend, she said he definitely had a lot of red flags, and she even told me I should stay far away from dating until I get some help because I was obviously not seeing the red flags right in front of me. I'm not gonna get into it, but sometimes I'd have to cook 2 dinners for my ex because he didn't like everything I made.
What about second breakfast?
His mom apparently didn't get him used to vegetables so he won't eat them, or making fun of my cramps on my period. That is some of what I was referring to when I said immature. I unblocked him just to tell him I'm coming over in a few days to get my stuff and if he could just not be there and that I'd leave my keys. He said fine, and that was it. I'm still not speaking to my family and I'm just going to go no contact like people suggested. I saw a video from a woman speaking about me and someone in the comments and said I was groomed into this treatment, which is why he felt it was okay to do this. Maybe she's right. It happened to me at a birthday party, not my birthday or cake, but somehow I was the one that cropped it in the face. Not only did it hurt because I was so shocked that I started to cry and then left. Oh God, no, I'm sorry that happened to you. Also, yes, it hurts. People think it's just a little mushy cake. No, it hurts, especially if there's decorations. Smashed cake in my wife's face at our wedding, still married 30 years later. Grow up, you child, along with the rest of the morons in this thread. Your soon-to-be ex will be lucky to get rid of you. Oh, wow, okay, why are you so heated about this? Why does that make you so mad? Someone having boundaries and not being okay with something. Sounds like that's a you problem, honey. Not the a-hole. You said you'd leave if he did it. He didn't believe you. If you don't leave, you'll be setting yourself up for a lifetime of being walked all over if it amuses him. Gotta be a woman of your word, you know what I'm saying? Not the a-hole. This is a glimpse into the rest of your marriage. He completely disregarded what you specifically told him not to do. Divorce! Divorce him! Honestly, this trend's gotta stop. Like, it's gotta stop. We could do a whole video on this, honestly. Subscribe!